Tonight's debate at a local shooting range out here in California.
Okay. Let's take your left hand and put it out here for a little more control. Okay. I want you to lean more into it, like more of a forward aggressive stance. Okay. Get it on your shoulder. Do you see the red triangle?
Yeah, the red triangle should be the center.
All right, go ahead and shoot something on the tax bill.
Okay. While there, he took some shots at the U.S. tax code with an array of weapons. You'll remember back in July, the Paul campaign released a similar video where he set 70,000 pages of the tax code on fire. Then he threw copies in a wood chipper, finished up by tearing through the documents with a chainsaw. He's doing something similar out here today. The tax code may have been his target today, but later tonight in the debate, it looks like he will target Donald Trump. Senator Paul says Donald Trump, quote, deserves both barrels. And he also says, quote, I want to make sure everyone in the whole country knows he's a fake conservative. The Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is with me right now here at the Reagan Library. Strong words. Explain why he is a fake conservative in your view.
Well, you know, I think the fact that he's been for Obamacare, that he's also been for the government stimulus package that President Obama put forward, that he was for the government bailing out the banks. These were all the things really that got me motivated to run for office, because I was opposed to every one of them, and Donald Trump's been on the other side of every one of those. But I guess the thing that I really think is the biggest thing to conservatives that makes him not a conservative is that he's for the government using eminent domain to take property from small property owners and give it to big corporations like himself. And I don't know of one conservative in the country who thinks government should use eminent domain people's property.
So you think you were too soft on him in the first debate, and you want to come out a lot harsher tonight.
Yeah, we're sending him a signal, not so subtle signal, that we're coming to compete. And to compete for the presidency means you have to discuss ideas, and I think it won't be enough to say people are stupid or look at that face, that kind of stuff. I think that's sophomoric, and I think ultimately the American people, they will want to hear about issues, and they will want to know, is Donald Trump a conservative? And on a host of issues, he's never been a conservative.
You know, if you attack him, you know what he's going to do.
He'll probably say something he doesn't like about my physical appearance, and I think ultimately that's going to fall flat, because I think ultimately people want to say, well, what would you do as president? And I don't think it's enough to say, well, I'd tell those Chinese. Well, what policy would you change that would be different than what we're doing currently? And I just don't think conservatives, once they hear that he's for higher taxes, Obamacare, you know, using eminent domain, they're going to cringe at that. But I don't think enough people yet know what he stands for.
I've watched Donald Trump enough over the years, and I'll tell you what I think he's probably going to say as soon as you go after him. He's going to say, you're a loser, Senator. You're at 1%, 2%, 3%. You're barely registering.
Right.
I'm at 30%, 40%. The American people love me. They hate you. Something like that.
I know, but I guess the question is, I really have a greater faith in the American people that really a diatribe from a junior high school, person is really not enough to really convince people to say, oh, he should be president. In fact, I think it should be kind of the opposite. I've taken to telling audiences that, do you want someone in charge of the nuclear arsenal whose biggest attribute is that they can call someone names? So, no, I think ultimately we'll get beyond it. I'm hoping tonight, and CNN has said this, they want to get into the substance of the issues. I hope that's where we go.
Why is he doing so well?
People are unhappy. I mean, I ran for office because I was one of those unhappy people. Unhappy at Washington, unhappy at, we accumulate debt at $1 million a minute. Sure, I'm unhappy also. But then I guess the difference is there's unhappy with substantive proposals for making government smaller, and then there's unhappy with, I'm not so sure Trump would make government smaller, or maybe that he might make it bigger because he seems to want more power for himself because he's all powerful and he thinks that he can fix all problems because of this sort of narcissistic belief in himself. But I think really most conservatives, we want government to be smaller. I've pledged as president to give power back to the states and people and to make the presidency actually a smaller office, not a bigger office.
How do you get your numbers to go up?
Well, we hope with the debate that there'll be quite a few people watching tonight. And ultimately, we hope that people look and scratch beyond the surface to say, who would be best to make government smaller? Who would be best to get rid of the tax code and replace it with a single flat rate? And I think without question, once the issues are out there, I think I win on the issues. Right now, we're losing on the celebrity status of things. But ultimately, I think we'll get to the issues.
It sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you don't think Donald Trump is qualified to be president of the United States.
You know, I don't think so. I really think what we're seeing from him is sophomoric, sort of these junior high diatribes at other candidates. In fact, I think they're silly. I just don't see anything serious about what he's proposing. And when he says Mexicans will pay for the wall, and then he says he's going to be tough, you know, and he's so smart because he's so rich, I don't think they always equate with each other. I think if he wants to prove to us that he's so smart, it's not because he's rich, it's because what are the proposals that he has? What are the proposals that he has for America? And I'm more than happy to go mano a mano, and let's have a debate.
And if he is the Republican presidential nominee, could you see yourself voting for him?
You know, I've said there will be certain candidates I will be less than enthusiastic to support, but I do believe, you know, that even if I were to win with 60% of the vote, I need 40%, the other 40% that disagree with me. In the Republican debate, the winner may have 20 or 30%, maybe going through several of the primaries. I won't be excited about Donald Trump. I think he would cause our party to be the biggest loss since 1964. So I'll be very, very disappointed and won't be very enthusiastic about it. But I've said I will support the nominee.
So you would actually not just support, but vote for Donald Trump. Go into that polling booth and actually push that little lever and say Donald Trump should be the next president.
Well, the polling booth is still secret. But no, I've said I'll support the nominee, and I will. But I'm going to do everything possible within my power over the next 6 months to make sure Donald Trump's not the nominee, because I think it'd be a disaster for the country.
Any last-minute things you're going to do before this debate?
They're all top secret, and we have an array of things, but we're not allowed to reveal to the media.
Did you have fun shooting that text?
I did have fun shooting this morning, and that relieves a little stress, so I'm not cooped up in a hotel room all day.
Hey, Senator, thanks very much.
You.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.